You build your entire daily routine around one person. Your schedule, your plans, and your happiness all point directly toward them. And when they are suddenly gone, you lose the basic ability to know which way to stand. There was a young monk named Sarah. Long before she joined the monastery, she had a best friend named Lena. They grew up in the same village, and Lena was the absolute center of Sarah's world. Every single choice Sarah made began by asking what Lena would think. When Lena liked something, Sarah did it. When Lena avoided someone, Sarah stayed away. She didn't mirror her friend out of weakness. She did it because Lena made the world remarkably easy to navigate. By relying on Lena's judgment, Sarah never had to face the friction of deciding anything alone. Then, one summer, Lena married a man from a neighboring village and moved away. She promised to visit, and she came back exactly once. After that, they exchanged letters for a few months until the envelopes stopped arriving entirely. Within a year, Sarah lost the capacity to make even the smallest daily choices. She couldn't decide what meal to eat or which path to walk down. She would literally stand in the middle of a room, completely frozen. She couldn't move because every conceptual road in her mind was built to lead directly to Lena. With Lena gone, the destination vanished. Outsourcing your internal compass to an external source creates a catastrophic structural vulnerability. When that source is removed, the logic of your daily existence collapses. Seeking refuge, Sarah went to the monastery. She completed her daily chores, but she moved through the halls like a shadow. She constantly stayed near the walls, always physically leaning her weight against them. Noticing this, the old master took her out into the surrounding forest one afternoon. He led her to a specific clearing to look at two distinct trees growing side by side. The first tree stood tall and perfectly straight. Its roots grew deep into the earth, and its branches were distributed evenly on every single side of the trunk. This diagram maps the straight tree's physics. Notice the central vertical axis and symmetrical horizontal vectors extending outward. Because branches grow in every direction, it collects energy from multiple points. If a storm breaks one side, opposing structural vectors absorb the kinetic shock. True resilience depends on a diversified, omnidirectional architecture. An organism remains upright because it distributes its weight and its needs across every side of its trunk. The master then pointed to the second tree. It grew entirely sideways. Its trunk leaned heavily to the left, with all of its branches reaching desperately toward one narrow gap in the canopy where the sunlight came through. Warning tone. This second diagram models the physics of over-reliance. The vertical axis is skewed left. All biological weight pushes towards one opening, creating a displaced center of gravity with zero counterweight. If blocked, the tree mathematically cannot straighten itself to reach alternative inputs. The master sat on a fallen log and told Sarah the hard truth. She was the leaning tree, and Lena was her isolated gap of light. Every branch Sarah grew, her choices, her laughter, her entire direction in life, pointed exclusively towards her friend. When Lena left, the light moved, but Sarah's branches were still reaching for a gap that no longer existed. She had zero roots on the other side to hold her steady. Dedicating your entire existence to a single relationship is a structural deficit disguised as devotion, a dependency that mathematically guarantees an eventual collapse. Sarah sat quietly for a long time. She looked closely at the straight tree and then at the leaning one, finally recognizing her own posture in the heavy, bent trunk. The next day, she started small. For the first time in a year, she chose her own meal. She walked down a path she had never taken before, and she sat entirely alone in the garden. She didn't try to grow a completely new tree in a single afternoon. She simply let one tiny, fragile branch reach in a direction it had never gone before. Who did you build your entire life around, and what happened when they left? Tell me your story in the comments. A healthy life requires loved ones to be a component of your growth, not the sole foundation. True self-reliance means expanding in multiple directions. Subscribe for more stories that help you stand on your own again, and share this with someone who is still leaning